Hello, welcome back to Learning with Ms. H. Today we're going to take a look at our review game for our unit over rocks, minerals, weathering, and erosion. Your school may do these as two separate units. Ours combines them together. Either way is fine. This review game will work both ways. The reason for this, we have two different sets of cards. We have a blue set for rocks and minerals, and we have a green set for weathering and erosion. You'll see what I mean when we get into the game. But if your school is one who does them as two separate units, then you can just use whichever set of cards is appropriate for you at the time and ignore the other set. Completely fine. So, what you're looking at here is the informational page. You've got a link to the game right here. When you click this link, it will open up this board game. Couple things you need to know. It does allow up to 8 players. However, you can only play it on one screen. If I move these pieces around, close out because I need to go eat dinner, whatever, change classes, I leave that screen, I come back in to pick my game up later, I click the link, it's actually going to pop me into a brand new, fresh game. There's no way to save your progress. So if you need to walk away and come back later, you need to leave the game open in a tab of your browser. If you close the game, you will have to restart. It's the only drawback here. One suggestion that I make for how to play the game virtually, if you are still in COVID times, you cannot gather, you have to social distance, whatever, you can actually have whoever you're playing with get together in a virtual room. So use Zoom, Discord, Skype, whatever you normally use to connect virtually. Have one person in your group go ahead and share their screen, open up the game, and then that person will be in charge of the game mechanics, and everybody can then see the game and play and answer questions and those kinds of things, so you guys can all still play the game together, even though it's only on one screen. So the person who shares screen and plays the game will be the one who's in charge of moving the pieces, selecting cards, and rolling the dice. If you are by yourself, you cannot connect with your classmates, or you've just come across this on the internet and you're playing by yourself, it can be done just as easily. You can play a solo version of the game by simply going through the deck of cards and answering the questions. If you want to make it a little bit of a challenge, you can see how long it takes you to get all the way around the board, and then the next time you play, try to beat that time. You can do the same with seeing how long it takes you to get through all of the cards and try to beat that time. You can play with your family unit that lives together by gathering around the computer, or you can just pull up the question sheet, answer all the questions that you can, and then go back through and use the cards to answer the rest. There's no wrong way to play the game. So, how does it work? On this page, you'll see that you can get instructions for the game found below at this link here, or by clicking on this page with an eye on it on the game itself. Now, these links here, the found below and the questions found here, these are actually bookmarks. When you click it, it will take you to a section of this actual page where you can see the rules. So I just jumped to the rules. You can see I can also scroll down and there's the questions, or I can scroll up and get back to the top. There's also this handy back to top, so you can just jump back to the top if you're further down. So this page is really easy to navigate, but you can also access the rules by clicking this piece of paper with an eye on it icon in the game. So let's try that. If you click on this, It's going to take you a minute for your first time that you click on it because it does have to reach the page loaded up. It takes a little bit longer while I am recording, but this is the same rules page that was on the informational page with everything right here for you. You have the green flag to start, the checkered flag to finish. The game is over when someone reaches the checkered flag. So if someone lands on space 45, the game continues. If someone moves past space 45, the game is over. So if I am here on 44 and I get a 1, game continues. If I get a 2 or more, game is over. Hopefully that makes sense. In order to start a turn, no matter whose turn it is, every turn is going to be played the same way. You're going to draw a card, answer the question, and then if you're correct, you roll the dice. If you're incorrect, your turn is over. Pretty straightforward. So choose your player token. Come in here. If I'm going to be green, I'll choose my green player token. I'm going to tell the person who's in charge of the screen, I would like a card from the blue deck, please. So that person will come over here and click on the blue deck, anywhere on the blue deck. And my question pops up. Describe how sedimentary rocks are formed. I will give my answer out loud. We'll talk about it. They'll decide if they think I'm right or not. You can check the answer right here on the screen immediately by clicking this little check mark button. Read the correct answer, and then click the X to close out the question card. If I was wrong, my turn would be over. If I was right, the person in charge of the screen would come down here to the lower right-hand corner and click on the die. Roll the die, and I will move 6 places, so the player in charge will move me 6 spots. At that point, my turn is over, and play moves to the next person. You continue on the same way, choosing a card, answering the card, rolling the die, moving the player pieces, until someone reaches the checkered flag. As you go through here, there's one other thing you need to know. Only 2 players can share a space on the board. So this letter 2C down here, only 2 people can share a space on the board. So if green and yellow are both on this spot, and red rolls a 6, red should land here. However, only 2 players are allowed. Red does not move ahead, it moves back a space. So if you land directly on a spot with 2 other players, you stop at the space before. You don't move to the space after. Now if red was here and rolled a 6, he could go ahead and jump over them and move 6 spaces. You just cannot land on those people, and you don't move past them in that situation. You'll notice that red landed on a special space. This is a stoplight. All of the stoplights on the board, there's 2 of each kind of special space. So all of the stoplights say, oh no, lose a turn. So in that case, the next time we got around to red's turn, we would skip him. The cat says, bummer, move back 4 spaces. So if yellow lands on the cat, he's going to move back 4 spaces instead of staying there. The party space here says second chance. Take 1 additional turn. So if I land here, I drew my card, I answered my question, I rolled the dice, I landed on the party space. Now I'm going to get to draw another card, answer another question. If it is correct, I would get to roll the dice again and move that number of spaces. So it's a bonus turn. The last one here is the puppy dog. So if we land on the puppy dog, it says woohoo, move ahead 4 spaces. So that player would move ahead 4. These are the same each time you see him. So the party space is the second chance both times. The dog is move ahead both times, cat move back both times, and the stoplight is lose a turn both times. The dice is in the lower right-hand corner. Information is in the lower left-hand corner. Both decks of cards are in play. If you need to, you can only use one set. The last thing you'll see here is, as you play, fill in the answers to the questions found here at the end of this document. So if you go to those questions, you'll see that these 33 questions are going to be the exact same questions as you find on the deck of cards. Now, you may have noticed that one of the questions that I had a picture on it, like this one does. When you get to this question on the list, what minerals are found in Gabbro? Let's find it. Let's find it this way. What minerals are most common in a sample of Gabbro? Use the image on the game card as a reference. So, when I get to that question, if I don't know off the top of my head what minerals are found in Gabbro, I can come to this question in the game, and I have this table here to look at, and I can answer the question by finding Gabbro in the table, going straight up from there and looking and seeing what minerals are present. Double check. Move on. So there are several questions in here that do refer back to the pictures on the cards. In order to be able to finish those, you will probably need to be playing the game and looking at the cards to answer those questions. That's kind of our way of checking to see if you're actually playing the game or not. This document here is what you will turn in to earn your points if you are taking this or doing this in our class. So this is what you'll submit to us, is the completed questions. However, you can do the game as many times as you want or need to. All of the questions in the cards in the game relate to the test that you're going to take. So if you can answer the questions in the game and understand the material in the game, you should have no problem passing your test when it comes time for it. Continue playing the game, repeat the game, go through the questions. They do automatically get shuffled back in, so every time you close out a card, it shuffles it back into the deck. So it is possible to get the same question 2 times in a row. It's just not common. But it is shuffled for you, so you can continue going through this even after somebody reaches the checkered flag. If you'd like to continue playing the game after that, feel free. Play it as many times as you need to solidify your understanding. That is the point. Hopefully this is a much more fun way to review for the test. It's definitely more interactive than just your basic fill it in worksheet. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and we will see you next time.